was sent into some technical difficulties, but um, my opinion on it.
Go get one.
I actually kind of reserved until I saw it. I mean, in general, the concept, not too crazy about, especially being marketed to children. But
Bring it here.
my only major concern was, I guess, the rating. But because it's PG, kinda in 2021, I think it's appropriate. It is parental guidance, so you should
It's in the kitchen.
check it out before you just sit down and watch it with your children, especially knowing the type of theme ahead of time. I mean, I don't think most parents don't think about the theme of what they pop on, even if they don't know exactly what they're about to watch with the child. But um, I watched it first. Would I show my 5-year old? No. Uh, she, I don't know about other people's kids, but most kids her age, they don't like to see anybody kissing. So I'm not gonna open that Pandora's box. That is a discussion for, I think, a more mature age, when she's more developed into thinking about any type of relationship, heterosexual, or otherwise. That's not a focus I want to open up at that age. Um, I guess between, I don't know, what would be appropriate age be for that discussion, because I mean, all around the world is different for everybody, and you have kids as young as like 7, presenting different things, but which is totally different from sexual orientation, which is more of what this kind of ends with than what they're displaying. I know people have varying opinions on that, but there is several lessons in this, and all in all, I think it was well done. The marketing, a little leery of, but considering the time we're in, I think it's appropriate with guidance. You look like you have some strong words there, Gloria. What you want to say? You making those faces?
I'm sorry, I was trying not to have rest in BF, rest in B face. Honestly, times have changed, and I didn't know what it was about. It came up in my Netflix. I'm teaching summer school, and Netflix came up. We watched a movie, and when I came across the title, my coworker was like, "We're not watching that crap." I'm like, "What is it about?" He was like, "We're not watching that." And I'm like, "Okay," because we have teenagers. We from I think 6th grade through. We have kids as early as 11, and we had kids up to the age of 15 at the middle school, from 11 to 15. But like, we're not watching that, and I never knew, so I never watched it until right then. So that's my first reaction. I said all of that to say this, that representation does matter. Because if you think that, it depends on your ideologies around homosexuality. Some people believe you're born that way. Some people believe that there are environmental factors that play a part in being gay or homosexual, whatever the proper term is, because I don't want to be bashed for using the wrong terminology. But if we go with the perspective or the scientific thing that kids are born that way, let's just say kids are born gay. Is it inappropriate for them to have this platform of expression to see something that is unique to them? Because believe it or not, kids are encountering, when I work with kids, I've been working with kids a long time. Kids as early as kindergarten will tell you, "I got a boyfriend, I got a girlfriend." So kids are very aware of sexuality, but not in the not sexuality, I'm sorry. They are aware of our cultural norms. They see mommy, daddy. They see husband, wives on TV. They see boyfriend, girlfriends on TV. But what about the representation for that child? If we can see if a child is born gay, where's the representation for them? So that's a unique perspective. Believe me, my ideologies are changing about a whole lot of things, but there are so many things to crush communities of minority communities. There's so many things to crush minority communities. This was done in a really tasteful way. It was, I got an overwhelming message of acceptance, an overwhelming message of being honest and truthful about who you are. An overwhelming, do you trust the people who say they love you? Do you trust them? And I got such a warm feeling. That's my first reaction. I never saw this. So my first reaction is it was done very tastefully. And I would show my young child. I would, because who goes to say that if my child was born this way, that they would appreciate that representation. And that's just how I looked at it.
Destiny. Throw the fire on us. Throw it. Throw it.
I'm trying to think of how to word it. Overall, okay. Overall, the film itself was good. You know, my thing is, if you're not born that way, is it okay? And I don't want to make it seem like, oh, if you watch something gay, you're gonna become gay. But when is it appropriate for kids to start viewing things like this? You know what I'm saying? Because it brings about a lot of questions, and it puts you in a tough situation sometimes. Because you gotta know, you gotta be careful with your wording and your message when you're trying to explain things like that. Which they did word it, and they did send the message across very well. But like I said, still, at what age is it appropriate to show your child that? You know?
That's one for the group. I don't know, honestly, and I feel like it's gonna be different for every household, for the level of maturity you think your child is, what they're exposed to. I guess if you felt like in their school setting, that's something that's they're always gonna be around. So you might wanna, you know, get it from home first before they pick up mixed messages in the street.
Yeah.
So it, like I said, it's gonna be different for every household. I still don't have a number for you yet. Um, I kind of play it by watching how my child interacts, what they see. Like I said, I see how she reacts toward, those PDA moments in general with adults. I know she's not ready for that conversation. Now, in terms of being, I feel like aside from the kiss in the movie, everything else to me, okay. And I would have. I feel like because she is at a point where she may ask a question I'm not ready to answer, I'm not going to present that yet because of just that one portion of the film. But the rest, just like Gloria was saying about the being honest, being true to yourself, all that is a great message at any age. Any age.
So I have a question. Is it okay to show it to your kids if it's not sexualized? And when I say that, I mean, any of the kissing, all that, the kissing scenes, all that. As long as it's none of that, do you think it's okay?
I think without that, it would have got a G rating. Without that kiss.
So without the kiss, do you think you would have been able to show it to Olivia like right now?
I would have.
Still a touchy subject.
I would have. Because
Okay.
we do from time to time, there's things that come on TV that
Yeah.
it's on a station or in a show that she's already normally watching, and it just so happened that particular day they threw a little something extra in there, but it still is not something that I have to explain per se, because they're not doing anything that, you know, confuses her.
Okay.
And they're not normalizing something that she's not like comfortable with. It's like there's no excess touching, there's no kissing. There might just be two really good friends and they prefer to be with each other, maybe not with a girl. Or and for the most part, it's usually a friendship situation, an honesty situation.
Okay.
Yeah, but when you get into all the extra stuff, that's when I gotta pump the brakes. Because even when it comes to any adult, because normalizing the sexual content at a young age is my problem.
Right. Okay. And so, hold on, I had a question. Okay. So do you think normalizing it on TV is this okay? Normalizing gay relationships on TV shows, whether it be adult or child, do you think that it is a good thing for our society, or do you think of it as a bad thing?
That's a hard one. You have go ahead, Lucy, take it away. I'll bite my tongue. I'll jump in after.
I can't answer for nobody else but myself. I personally, I don't like it. We're introducing too much to these kids at an early age. And you know, like they say, gateway drugs. Well, there are gateway activities also. So when you introduce things at an early age, she don't have to answer that question now, but when you start introducing it at earlier and earlier ages, those questions are going to be asked. Mommy, why is that man kissing that man? My thing is, why are we aiming this stuff at children? Why back in the day, most children's cartoons, I can't speak for y'all generation, more like my generation. It was like when you watch the educational shows, like Barney and all that stuff, there was no kissing, there was none of that. It was hugs, it was learning. Now, when you got to like Looney Tunes, okay, it was bash them over the head, which they consider violent now. But I don't understand how, I'm getting jumbled up in my words. Me, no. I'm not with it. I don't like it. I don't like introducing this to kids. And now there's a gay quota. I don't know if y'all know it, but there's a gay quota on TV shows. Look it up.
That's
There's a
part of the
particular number of
diversity
gays
clause.
that have to be presented or represented in a show, or depending on the kind of show it is. I don't like it. I don't like answering them questions, because once they see it, the question is going to come. And I've always said, if they're old enough to ask it, there's some activity going on in their mind thinking about it. And I'm not ready to open Pandora's box. Point blank. I'm not bashing anybody. I love everybody. What you do is what you do. You like it, I love it. But that doesn't mean I got to entertain it and bring it into my life.
My only issue with that too is we make so much space for it at a point where there's still so much discovery happening and so many other things that they need to learn, to just basic survival, you know, about their own body, their own world, that we're putting in something that is on a different level of complicated. When you're talking about relationships, all the many different kinds of relationships you can have, then we're talking about sexuality and sex.
Jesus.
Yeah, there's so much with that, and it's like they don't even have good hygiene yet.
You got teenagers calling it a Woody and a Tuda and a Cuda, and y'all want to give this whole new concept? No. Anyway, go ahead, Gloria.
Representation matters.
It does.
And when I saw the cartoon, I didn't even see the kiss as sexual.
I didn't see it as sexual either.
I didn't see it, and I did not see it as a way that sexualized their relationship either. I didn't see that when I watched it. But I will say this. This is the first year this has ever happened to me as a teacher. But I had a child confront me about saying, ladies and gentlemen, put your materials away, get ready for your next class. And in a very combative manner, a child approached me, came within my 6 feet of distance, and motioned his hands in my face and said, I would prefer not to be called or gentleman because I am of a non-binary or whatever. And I said, you gonna respect my 6 feet and back up from me. Non-binary or no. You want me to respect you? And you felt disrespected by me saying a general ladies and gentlemen. I did not know what you identified as in that audience. I did not know. And if you did not tell me what you identified as, how can you automatically take offense because you being offended was not my intention. But you definitely offended me by coming within my 6 feet of personal space during a pandemic. So when I say representation matters and the conversation should not be avoided, they should not be avoided. Because now as an educator, and all educators, whether parents are promoting these things in their homes or not, your children are about to get a rude awakening and they have no home knowledge on how to deal with it because it's coming. This is the first year I've ever experienced, and the child was not, the child was not understanding at all. The child was combative, like ready to fight. Because I said, ladies and gentlemen, pack up, we getting ready to switch. Right? So if we see in the media, we see it in everywhere that parents are allowing their children at 2 and 3 years old. I'm a girl, I'm a boy, putting dresses on boys, we're seeing this at a very early age. And those kids are going to be in your kids' kindergarten classrooms, first grade classrooms. And I'm telling you now, they coming at your kid with the combat boots on because this conversation is so hush hush. And we're thinking our kids are not ready for it. But it's either we're going to deal with it when it comes, we're going to deal with it and be proactive, or we're going to deal with it and be reactive because the reality is media has already pushed it on us. It's already here. So I read a book called Who Moved My Cheese? I hope everybody is familiar with this book because if you haven't read it, you should. And in Who Moved My Cheese, the gist of the book is be proactive. When you see a trend changing, jump in front of it. And don't shadow behind it, cower down. Representation matters. There was once upon a time when Black people weren't represented on TV. Okay? And there were little Black girls and little Black boys still today developing low self-esteem because there was no representation. And then the representation that came out was very negative representation. And I don't care what y'all say, these kindergartners, these first graders, these 5-year-olds, they have in their communities, some of them, their families are already seeing outward displays of homosexuality. Because I'm sorry, but it is being normalized. And if you are going to shy away from the conversation, when we don't address things head on, they become negative instead of an opportunity to be positive. And I don't think you promoting your kid to be gay. Are you hurting your kid by by avoiding uncomfortable conversations? Are you hurting them or are you helping them because you don't feel comfortable? Because the fact is they're going to sit in that classroom, sit on the bus, they're going to be in a restaurant and they're going to see 2 men kiss really soon. And that is fact. It is happening.
Sorry.
I don't know if you caught that. I'm doing it again. Wait, here we go. I agree with you. The uncomfortable part for me. What?
Where did you find the mini mic? Where did you find
Lucy got it.
I need a
We can't get it to work.
Yes, it's like
Did you get
attached to
it
this
off of
karaoke
Amazon?
thing.
Did you get it
Huh?
off of Amazon?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
still
don't buy
looking.
it. Don't buy it. Don't
No,
buy it.
it's good for look only.
Yeah, they gave it to us for free because we can't get it to work. So it's props
Yeah.
on
The fact that you had the mini mic just took me there. I was just like, she got a mini mic.
They don't work. They came 2 for $16, and you can't get them to work. See?
It's connected to some karaoke app. That's all it works for.
Yeah. So we still researching to get regular mic, the regular mini mic.
Okay.
I agree. I would ask then for me, whether like I said, whether it's a man or woman, it's the whole kissing thing. Any movies usually she's like covering her face anyway. The general theme of love whoever you want to love, be true to yourself, that's universal in my household. I wouldn't shy away from anything like that. But the fact of the matter is most things with same-sex relationships, bisexual, otherwise, I haven't seen anything for a child's age that didn't have inappropriate things that I felt they shouldn't be exposed to at that age.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Like when they have little cartoons targeted to kids that it's just friends that happen to be same sex or even the non-binary. I don't even think that matters. I think it's something that's so under the radar for the kids. It's just a general lesson of acceptance. No problem with that. I do not yet know how to have that conversation. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Gloria.
I'll say the only other thing I want to say, like the example you were bringing with the fact that blacks weren't on TV. I mean, we have a lot of things in American history like that in general, where there was low representation. When it comes to especially young kids reacting violently to feeling like they were disrespected or not represented, that's the kind of stuff that I feel like is the reason why a lot of people kind of shy away from this and don't want this, because that's what they're seeing. I don't know if it's because we weren't having that conversation before, but I feel like there's so many things out here right now. And I mean, not just right now, but Ben, especially for our community, that we have not been putting so much effort and energy into. Go ahead.
Okay. You know how okay. The thing about, and I've had personal conversations with all of you before about this topic. And I could say just 3 months ago, I'm enraged. I mean, I have rage because I don't move in the world to disrespect anybody. My normal daily goings and comings, I don't intentionally set out to be offensive. You get what I'm saying? But if you are coming back at me combative about something that I'm simply ignorant to, then I got a problem. And you're going to get what you give. And so I don't understand how combative the culture has become when it comes to loving who you want to love. I don't care who you love. You have a right to love who you love, how you love them. You have the right to teach your children how you want to teach them about this topic. But what I am seeing as problematic on this topic is the quickness to cancel people because they didn't call you by your pronoun, or to become confrontational about a topic that is new to a lot of people. The concept of homosexuality is not new. That's not new. All of these gender pronouns, all of the different letters, all the different categories that people can fall into with their identity, because identity is separate from sexual preference. Those are all different concepts. It is a very confusing world to navigate in. And like I said, I do not purposefully go forward in this world to be disrespectful to anybody. So unless we start having these conversations at a respectful tone, because people have not learned how to communicate properly. That's period. So my interactions with the LGBTQIA, I don't remember the rest of the letter,
It's
community,
plus, yes.
plus community, every interaction on a personal level has been a little combative. And I've known gay people my entire life. And I'm like, I'm not out here to disrespect you, because who you love makes no never mind to me. Who you identify as, your personage does not cause me left or right. It does not cause me any discomfort or anything. It doesn't matter to me. However, what matters is basic human interaction. If you feel offended, you need to say that clearly. I feel offended. Please refer to me as X, Y, or Z. But because we are shunning away from these conversations, it's causing more combativeness. And the way to deflate anybody who is coming at you combatively is to come back at them calmly. So with that young man, he violated my space. Now he's non-binary. This person considered himself, and I'm saying a him pronoun, because he looked like a boy. The only thing was he had his nails painted. And this is out of middle school. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. This boy is like 12 years old. And he was ready for the fight. I know he was ready to report me for calling him, for saying generally to the whole class, ladies and gentlemen, put your stuff away, get ready to switch. But just as
you don't
non-binary means you don't identify with either gender.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
Non means no.
What did he want you to say then? He wanted you to say ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary?
Everybody.
No idea.
It's gonna come to the point where they're gonna have a problem with you saying, children, get your stuff together too. Watch.
Right, because if you a child and you don't identify as a child, to me, I mean, I can easily say, one of those kids can easily say, Ms. Brown, I don't identify as a child, I identify as an adult.
I identify as a 40-year-old female.
I mean, the gist of me going down that trail was, we have lost the ability to communicate as humans, as beings that are connected by consciousness. I don't care what your external looks like. I don't care who you lay down with that night. I don't care if you got a penis and boobs at the same time. That does not make me no never mind. Makes me no never mind. But we have to teach our children to converse respectfully, to disagree respectfully, to present themselves in this world, to set boundaries and move respectfully. That boy had no reason to come at me in a combative manner, because I did not intentionally insult him or her or this and if we don't have the education, because every time we try to talk about it, you're being argued with, called out your name, trying to navigate through this new territory. But like I said, representation matters, because white people were seeing Black people on TV for the first time, and their children were thinking animals, apes. Their children were thinking, criminals. When Black people first started to go across, on the TV, and then all the negative representations of Black people. Cops, the show Cops set us back 500 years. Seeing Black people running through woods all the time, running from the police. And we know that that was not a true representation of what it is to be Black. We're not all criminals. And not all gay people are combative, but our children are seeing this. They are seeing it, whether you think so or not. When you put your kid on that pre-K bus, you don't know what they seeing. And those kids on that pre-K bus done seen some things. Because everybody's not raising their children like you raising yours. So we have to have conscientious kids moving through this world. We have to make our kids, we don't have to make them, but I don't think we should be hiding it from them. Your kids might have watched that show and not even thought twice about the kissing. Probably would have did like this again. Oh, I don't like kissing, and moved on. And moved on. So how do you, if your kid is asking the question, like Lucy said earlier, that means they entertain the thought. You have the ability to control the thoughts by what you discuss in your home. But if you in the restaurant and two women are kissing, you gonna leave the restaurant because you don't want your child to be exposed to that? You done pay for your movie tickets and two men come in, hold their hands and kiss before they sit down. You gonna leave the movie theater because you don't want your child to see that? You done pay for your ticket. So how we teach our kids is up to us. But I think the basic human condition is in trouble because we have lost the ability to effectively and calmly communicate what we need and what we think and being respectful to our fellow human being. And that's where the conversation, the video was wonderfully done. Because like I said, the overarching themes, acceptance, inclusion, identity, and being able to state your identity. Why couldn't he tell his parents? Why? That's a whole nother conversation. Why couldn't he tell his parents?
It's funny how the mother already knew too.
And the mother already knew. And because that boy didn't have representation, he didn't feel like he could tell his mother. And most mothers already know. You already know. You already have a strong inkling when you bring your children into this world and you see their spirit, you see their aura, you see how they maneuver through the world. Most parents be like, well, I already knew that. Well, girl, I already knew that. But we don't talk about it. Even though we sitting there like, you know what? He gonna be gay. Or you know what? He's very feminine. She's very masculine. We already know it, but we don't talk about it with them. Guilty, guilty, guilty.
So how do we open up that conversation and when?
When it happens naturally, the same way you start. And I don't think we talk to our kids early enough about sexuality. Should we? I mean, the earliest conversations on sexuality, body parts, your body parts, everything. Sexuality is not sex. It's different. It's different. Sex is a physical activity.
Are you making a comment or are you saying that you did it, Lucy?
No, I'm making a comment. Basically, when my kids were little, it started with the potty training. I gave them a potty training book that was sexually oriented to who they were. So when the girls got the pee-pee book, it was a vagina in the book. When Keto got his pee-pee book, it was a penis in the book. Then when their body went through changes, they each got their sexually appropriate book. Then when, oh, mommy, I saw divine kids, what up? We addressed it then. You get what I'm saying? So that conversation has always been open in my house. And I've taught it from day one. Because my thing is, when I got my period at 14, I didn't even know what the hell was going on. I'm going to be frank. My brother had to teach me because my mother was in New York. It was so awkward, so lopsided, so wrong. So, and I always said the things that I went through as a child, not knowing, oh, you bet believe my kids would be on deck, ready to know about it before it happened. Okay, baby, your body's going through changes. You're a young lady, and this, that, and the third. And like I said, and like Gloria said, it doesn't start with sexuality. It starts with your body. knowing your body, being true to your body. Because once you have those conversations about, you know, what you got going on, then you can have those conversations about what you feeling, what you want to do. You get what I'm saying? So I just didn't want my kids blindsided like I was at 14, balling up tissue, not knowing nothing. And my brother I called my mother in New York. She calls back to my brother, who was a clown, who calls his girlfriend. It was heart-wrenching, devastating, and it made being a girl so uncomfortable.
Sorry, y'all, my computer died.
Very enlightening, guys. I'm still thinking on the when. The when and the what.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I hear you now.
Okay, my volume keep going in and out. But like you said, Gloria, you said you believe that we should start talking about sex at an earlier. You said sex or sexuality?
We got to understand that sex and sexuality are two different things. Sex is a physical act. You get what I'm saying? Right. Sexuality is individual. Individual. It is not in relation to another person.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sexuality is a part of our identity.
Yeah.
Body parts, how they function, you know, your attraction, you know, what you feel attracted to, those things, you don't, sex is a physical act.
Right.
So we don't have to teach our kids necessarily about sex, but we do need to start teaching them about their sexuality and not in relation to other people. How does this body part work? I'm 2 years old. I should know the proper name for my body parts.
Oh, duh, yeah.
That's a part of their sexuality. I should know how to clean it. In the beginning of this conversation, I don't remember if it was you or Lucy who was like, they don't even know how to clean. They got people still saying, you know, wee wee and poom poom, and they don't even know the names, and they're not washing them properly. That's all a part of human sexuality. And always, you know, we always start teaching about birth control and all of that, but we don't teach our kids about feelings. Feelings should be present before you let somebody do something to your body anyway. And then they need to understand the feelings. And then that conversation easily comes up. Well, I don't feel like that way. I'm a girl, but I don't feel like that way toward boys. When your child is telling you something, first of all, a lot of kids don't feel safe. And I'm guilty of that. My kids didn't feel safe. They didn't feel safe. And so we have to create an environment where kids can safely express themselves to us.
Right.
A lot of kids will come out the closet way earlier, and that would be the science on if they born with it or not. Because kids know real quick, just like going back to that thing where they showed the 2 doll babies to a very little black girl. That girl was little, and she said that the black doll was bad and ugly, and that the white doll was good and pretty. And that child was young. That same thing is happening with sexuality. Kids know I feel different, but I can't tell nobody. Because when they get to the barbecue, the uncle is like, you got a boyfriend? You got a girlfriend? And you will hear that young. You hear that young. So if at the barbecue you asking the kindergartner, do you got a boyfriend? You got a girlfriend? If we doing that, why is homosexuality or that conversation off the table? And why can't we ask a little boy, you got a boyfriend? And see what they say. Just see. I don't got no boyfriend. No, that's nasty. I don't like boys like that. But we never say those things, and our children kind of, what's the word? They know. They subconsciously know that is socially unacceptable. I can't tell you who I really am.
Well, we still gotta realize we got varying generations. We got a lot of generations, and
that's true too.
All have different norms, social and cultural.
Yep.
that do not mesh with what's going on right now. Very conservative, very toxic.
Yep.
And not only generations, but then you put religion on top of that, politics on top of that,
You're right.
social norms on top of that. There's a lot of layers because there's, old people ain't dying off like they used to. So you're right. It's a whole lot of people mixing different time frames. Where I got a coworker and she said in her country, you will get stoned to death today. It's what
Yes.
for being gay.
Yes. You don't know how common that is.
In 2021, if you come out openly gay, you're going to be the victim of violence. In 2021. So once again, it's coming. We need to develop constructive ways to talk to our children about this, and don't leave
Stop.
them because we know how badly the school system does with everything. In your home, you need to make sure that you say, this is something we need to address. We know how Black history is taught now. We're clear on it. So what are we going to do to teach our children about themselves? Same thing with sexuality. It's here. It's here. What are we going to do to teach our children about it? And that little short film would tell you where your child is thinking with it. If they don't ask any questions,
God dang it.
why did you keep it from them? They might not ask not a question. They don't even care.
You're right.
And then there might be that child that has already seen it or has already thought about it, like, why did that man kiss that man? And we don't have to give some long, complex answer. They in love, period. Keep it moving. No judgment, no harm, no foul. Why did that man kiss that man? They in love. Move on. They're in a relationship. Move on. And if another question comes, answer it. No harm, no foul. But we can't just keep avoiding it because it's coming.
Tori, what you did? Touch my.
Thank you. That was very helpful. What do you think, Destiny?
Huh?
What do you think?
I already said it. Like, I get what Gloria's saying, be proactive. Yeah, all that good stuff. But like I said, that's still a touchy subject. I still gotta figure out a way to introduce it because yes, it has come across the TV, and she'll ask questions, and I'll give her the best answer I possibly can at that moment. And then sometimes we'll be in the street and she'll see. So for instance, we was at a parade and this guy was dressed like a female. And Zoe had looked so like, ew, like why he look like that? I said, Zoe, he just likes to dress like a female. You know what I'm saying? And she looked at me, why? I said, Zoe, I don't know why. It's just what he liked. And she said, no, mommy, he's not supposed to do that. And I said, well, everybody's a little different, everybody do things a little different. He likes to dress like that. That's on him, he like it, he love it. But like I said, that's why I said it's a touchy subject. You gotta know what to say so you don't offend the other group, or you know what I'm saying? It's just you don't want your child to come off offensive as well, just in how she say things. So you gotta like, that's why I say you have to monitor what you say and how you say it. Because I don't never want her to be somewhere and then just be like, ugh. But Zoe is her own person. If that's how she feels, that's how she feels. I try to teach her, don't be so mean about it, or watch how you say it. But if that's how she feels, I can't force her to feel a different type of way. Stop. Go ahead, Gloria. I'm wondering why you sitting there holding your hand up still.
Because you were still talking. Okay.
Hey,
This is the thing that I would investigate. This now, let me tell you, this is coming from 42 years on this planet, 3 adult children, navigating with teaching other people's children. So there's a long line of things coming behind this statement. We have to investigate why when she looked at it, she automatically thought nasty. And that's representation matters. Has she seen that without it somebody else saying it was nasty? And I'm not saying this happened in your home. When we look at TV, or we look at people, other people, and how they behave or act, our children pick that up. There are children who are deathly afraid of Black people in Publix in 2021, and a baby no bigger than your baby is sitting in the cart and literally about to have a damn meltdown, panic attack, because I walked by. People walk by that cart, other white people that walk by that cart, that child was not impacted at all. But when I walked by, like I was like, I want your little ass. But
We had
that was that child's first experience with a Black person. I don't know what is being shown to that child.
Remember, we had to test that theory, so each of us walked by that kid.
You remember what I'm talking about? So yeah, we were in Publix, and I'm like, that child has never encountered Black people. Automatically, there was fear. That baby was crying and extremely upset. And so Zoe looking at a man dressed like a woman, that's not in her normal everyday. She don't see that. And then in instance, she might have seen something similar, and people were like, ooh, ooh. And her automatic response, ew, why are you doing that? Why? And I think you did.
So
I think you did a great, because he want to. Keep it moving. Well, why are you doing that? Because that's what he want to do. He grown. Grown people can do what they do. Keep it moving.
And so, are you saying that because she hasn't been introduced to it, I should introduce it to her?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying don't shy away from it. She saw, you said yourself, she saw a man dressed like a woman, and she had a reaction to that man. It is up to us to steer our children being respectful human beings. And I think you did a fantastic job. Why he look like that? Because that's the way he wants to look. Well, he shouldn't look like that. But people can look the way they want to look. And it's okay. You can look the way you want to look. Let's keep it moving. You muted.
She does have very strong opinions on what females and males should be doing. And sometimes I'll tell her, Zoe, that doesn't matter. Like, she, you know how like in languages, an object will assume a role of a female or a male. That's how she is. So we were talking about the curtains, and the boy, it was just regular curtains. And he was like, she said, that's for girls. I said, no, Zoe, it's for girls and boys. It's not, it's not something that needs to be either or. It just is. It's just a curtain. It doesn't have no female or male to it. It's just a simple curtain. And I mean, she sat there and fussed at me like I said something wrong. And I said, Zoe, it's just a curtain. Okay? It's just a curtain in his room. That's it.
You didn't even teach her that. Where did she get it from?
I don't know.
She got it from our culture. She watches TV. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
She watches TV. She watches movies. And kids are so smart. We think they not learning, but they learning. Go right back to that experiment when they got the little Black girl to look at the 2 baby dolls. Nobody taught that baby specifically Black people are bad and ugly. White people are good and beautiful. Nobody specifically taught that, but she picked up on it. She picked up on it. It's the same thing with those are girl curtains. Those are boy curtains. You didn't teach your child that. You did not teach your child that. But how did she learn it? because the media is influencing our children, whether we like it or not. And we have control on how strong that influence is. We can control that.
Okay. So
I'm driving. Can y'all hear me?
yeah.
Wait, I'm driving, so
Yeah, we can
I
hear
can't see who's getting ready. I can't see who's getting ready to talk. I have to tap to speak because it's safe driving mode. But I wanted to interject.
Wait, Mama. I have something on my mind. I don't want to forget it. Wait.
Go ahead. 'Cause I'm gonna forget now. Go ahead.
But Gloria, that's the funny thing, because the whole time, you know how they're pushing, you know, the gay culture, they're pushing it. Shouldn't them pushing it and them being introducing it is gonna affect them as well, right?
Yes.
So
yes. It's coming. That's all I'm saying. It's coming. It's gonna be pushed to us. The culture is changing. It has already changed.
So I guess the way it affects them, we have to shape that.
Say that again.
So you saying we have to shape the way it affects them?
Best you can. I just, you know, when I think of the gay community, and I get so angry when people compare being gay to being black. I get angry because it is not the same.
It's not the same thing.
It is not the same.
You told
because you can choose. Now,
right. We didn't
wait, Destiny. Wait. Because there are people with the argument that say you don't choose your sexual identity. There are people who believe you do not choose, it chose you. There are people believing that. So, but my thing is, I can't conceal my blackness, no matter how hard I try. I cannot hide it to become more socially acceptable. But gay people can hide it. They can hide it. I can't hide being black. I cannot. But you can hide. Easier to hide being a homosexual for your protection than it is to hide being black. So
and as I said, society is going to deem what's acceptable and not acceptable.
Say that again.
What's acceptable and not.
You're breaking up so bad. Say it again.
Yeah, you're breaking
about
up.
Society.
Okay, society is going to.
I'll be quiet. And the media portrays or pushes whatever their agenda is.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
You got the gist. But that is why it's extremely important to make sure that within your household, you are having those conversations. Again, still for me, it's still a when and a how, but I understand and how you respond to the questions, keeping it pure and simple, because I've seen that myself, where it's just like you as a parent are more conflicted than the child is. They're just being innocently asking a question. And I remember one time, I can't remember what it was, but I went into this long-winded explanation. And before I even was finished, child done gone playing with her toys. Like, okay, whatever. Like, it wasn't that serious. But I was like really sweating and trying to find the right words that her brain could understand. And she was not even all that invested in it.
You get nervous and stuff trying to figure out how to explain it to them. And they just like, I just need a simple answer, Mama. Just
exactly.
A simple answer.
Without like, when she said, why is he dressed like that? I thought your answer was really appropriate. Because he won't do.
No, girl.
He's an adult and he chose to dress that way. He can dress the way he want to dress. He can dress.
So,
period.
Destiny, when will you let your children watch that?
You said when?
Mm-hmm.
That part, I don't know. I can't hit. Is somebody talking? Oh, I don't know. I think it depends on when she comes to me or when I'm here. Like, if she comes to me with a certain question and that question brings that thought in my head, then I'll go to it. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like when you said earlier, when you understand that level of maturity, or like I said, when it comes to you with that type of question and it can help bring that conversation about in a better way, or it can help you introduce the subject. That's the best way I could put it. Like I said, because if she comes to me and goes, you know, Mom, what's gay? Or Mom, you know, why did the two men kiss each other? Or something, you know, something like that. If that kind of stuff comes up, then I'll go ahead and introduce it to her, because obviously she done seen it or heard about it, or, you know, she knows something about it, but I want to make sure she knows the correct information so she's not misinformed. You get what I'm saying? But like, it's like the same thing when Mom started talking to us about sex. You know, you give your child the correct information so that they're prepared when they step out into the world. So, you know, nobody can't sway you or, you know, dupe you or something, you know, coerce you. When you already know the information, they can't do nothing to you. Because you have the knowledge, so, you know, they can't misinform you. So if she already knows and already explained it to her, if somebody comes up to her and say, oh, well, you won't get pregnant. No, yes, I will. Yes, I will. So I'm not doing it. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that. Ava, put it down.
Hey, go ahead.
I wanted to make this point. We sit in the living room and we watch TV with our children, right? We watch TV with them. We ride in the car and we listen to the radio with them, right? Our children see images of murder. They see death. They see sadness. They see hunger. They see happiness. They see love. They listen to music and they hear a lot of sexually explicit stuff on the regular radio. On the regular radio. And we are okay with that. Most of the time, you'll sit and watch a whole TV show with your kid and they don't ask you not one question. They'll ask you nothing. They will see imagery. I mean, even in their cartoon, the songs that they listen to, and no, verbatim. There's a lot of stuff, and a kid never asks a question. But when they do, we have to be prepared. And I'm not like some anxious thing. Simple answer. Simple answer. So, and then it's age appropriate. Like, I will never forget. Go ahead, Lucy.
What I recommend for people with small children, and they help mom, you write,
Breaking up again.
you get a regular,
The notebook.
you get the notebook, and you put on the front, this is a question book. You do not have to sign it. It's anonymous, but delete it, because I might not be able to answer it right then and there, but you will get an answer once I think about it. Because some questions took some time for me to think, like weeks, because I wanted to give them the simplest and purest answer I could give them. And that those answers gave them the background knowledge, and it gave them a chance to build on the original question. Like one question, Divine put, what sex? She couldn't have been no more than 6. So my simple answer for her was male or female. Well, later on, Divine asked me, what is the act of sex? And we sat down and we had a conversation. Because like I said, if they're asking it, they done seen it, they done thinking about it or something. But keep it simple. And in those simple answers,
That was the end for Lucy. Okay. Thank you. This has been enlightening. I could say that I am more, I guess, comfortable now after all of our conversation with her watching it actually. Because after everything, all things considered, like you said, she might just cover her eyes at, the kissing part, but the general film, all the lessons that are portrayed in the film, the acceptance, the, like, setting up for who you are, being comfortable with having that conversation with people who love you and all of that. I know she will get all of those messages, and she will probably not even recognize all the other things I have the difficulty with, or most parents will have a difficulty with, in terms of, same sex couples. And I know for a fact she's seen it already with other things on TV. And I live in New York. I know she's seen things. And like you said, she watches all kinds of things on TV. A lot of the time, sitting with adults. So she's seen the murder, the violence, the happy, the sad, blood and guts, all of that in cartoons as well. So you're right. It is on us to find simple ways, but to make sure that we have these conversations so that they are not going out there and experiencing things and getting mixed messages. Um, Again, I do I try to be real conscious when it comes to the radio. Do not listen to a lot of radio, but y'all listen to a lot of 80s, 70s, maybe early 90s. And because that early 90s is still a lot
Exactly.
of cursing. But yeah, because I do feel
Exactly.
like I owe an explanation with some of the things on the radio when I switch it, because that's what I do notice. She may have heard the songs already. So when I then go and change the station or turn it off, she's really grilling me on why. And I find it difficult to explain, because me just saying I don't want to hear that is not enough, because she's not comfortable telling me sometimes that she wants to hear it even though they say bad words, but she can't really explain why she likes it. That's a whole other conversation of maybe like the beat, frequency, this and that, something in that song that caught her, hooked her. But I know what the song is saying, even though she's not picking it up. Even
Okay.
from my youth, I picked up things that I didn't really know what I was singing it
Yeah.
out loud and proud, talking about all kinds of things. I didn't know what they were.
Yeah. To help with that, what I do is, like, if the song come on and it's a lot of cursing, or if it's just like way too much, I usually just tell her it's inappropriate. All I say is it's inappropriate. And Zoe, she always got a rebuttal. So she'll be like, why? I say, Zoe, the words. You know what I'm saying? You can't listen to that right now. It's not for you. And then, she'll be like, okay, so she'll pick another song to listen to. And sometimes that works, and sometimes she'll be mad because, I changed it, but she'll get over it. But yeah, when it comes to stuff like that, all I'll say is, even throughout the house, inappropriate. You're not supposed to be doing that. Or, you don't do that. It's not right. Because Zoe's a little weirdo sometimes. So sometimes I do have to say, no, Zoe, not funny. Because she'll do it and then laugh and look at me. I'm like, nah, that's not funny. That's inappropriate. Don't do that. Because I don't want her to be out in the street and then she do that. Somebody be like, oh my God, what is she doing? Oh, no. Because I'll be trying to avoid those situations for her. But sometimes, Zoe, it's very hard sometimes.
It was
It
an
just
excellent meet. It's a subject that has to be talked about. And I don't know if y'all saw Frida's post where it says everything starts in the home. Everything starts in the home.
That's
Mhm.
true.
How you address it. If you address it with tension and anger, it can be a bad move. If you address it with love,
Well said.
it can be a good move. If you address it with tension and anger, it can be a bad move. If you address it with love, it can be a good move. If you address it with tension and anger, it can be a bad move. If you address it with love, it can be a good move. If you address it with tension and anger, it can be a bad move. If you address it with love, it can be a good move. If you address it with tension and anger, it can be a bad move. If you address it with love, it can be a good move. If you address it with tension and anger, it can be a bad move. If you address it with love, it can be a good move. If you address it with tension and anger, it can be a bad move. If you address it with love, it can be a good move. If you address it with tension and anger, it can be a bad move. If you address it with love, it can be a good move. If you address it with tension and anger, it can be a bad move. If you address it with love, it can
I just want to reiterate the point of proactivity, being proactive in dealing with, there's so much bombarding our children right now. There's so much coming at our children from every angle because there are a lot of people on the planet right now, and people are living longer and they have way more access to information than ever before. In their phones, on the TV, on the radio, people are constantly talking about different topics. And we have to become proactive by focusing on teaching our children how to be human, how to take their fellow man into consideration as they move through this world, how to be respectful individuals, and how to communicate effectively and set clear boundaries. And if we all did that and moved through the world like that, we wouldn't even have to have all of this extra foolishness, because I respect you for who you are. You respect me for who I am. There's no violence. There's no nothing. I tell you, you tell me, and we move on.
Mic drop on that one. All right. That's it. All right. Thank you, guys. I will see you guys Sunday for the Nana Said book. Yeah, Sunday.